All right, so you made the decision to move into Albuquerque. Now what? And you're wondering what side of town is better than the other. Is it going to be the west side, with all the petroglyphs, the volcanoes, and all the trails that are surrounding us over here on the west side, and then it's my part of town, right? Or is it going to be the east side where there's going to be more proximity to the mountains, more convenience and shopping? You're going to have all the malls, all the uptowns, all the fairgrounds right next to you, all of that stuff right there, right? Back then that gets so extreme. But other than that, guys, we're going to be getting into that today, east versus west suburbs and everything you can expect. So hang tight, grab your pen and your pad, and let's go. You know what I really love about Albuquerque is that pretty much anywhere that you go, you're always going to smell a wood-burning fireplace going, especially now in the colder months, and it smells so good. It makes you feel real cozy, want to make you hunker down and kind of hang out inside. But really, guys, getting into the conversation, Albuquerque is just really diverse in its living situations, and really the east and the west side is going to have two main differences. One is going to be a little bit more city, and the other one's going to be a little bit more rural. So you're going to want to think about that when you are picking an area to live in. Do you enjoy more biking, more hiking? You just want trails all around you? Or do you want the convenience to having all the shopping, restaurants, hospitals, and all that stuff all around you? So that's really going to be the main differences here. Of course, there is little details and little nuances that we're going to go over in this video. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. It's going to be somewhere along here and popping up all over the screen, right? That way you guys never miss out on any videos, because we are dropping videos every week talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque and surrounding cities have to offer. Now, if you are thinking about moving down here, whether it's the next 30, 60, or 90 days, and you're curious to know what side of town has to offer to you, especially depending on your lifestyle, or you got some kiddos and you're wondering what school district you're wanting them to go to, feel free to hit me up. Me and my team would love to hop in a quick video call with you guys. That way we can get on the whole MLS, look at all the houses that are available for sale. And I mainly deal with buyers, but if you are looking to rent, I do have some resources for you guys. So please feel free to reach out. That way we can hop on that quick call and get you guys moved down to Albuquerque a lot faster and a lot sooner. But let's get into the conversation, guys. Okay, guys. The first one up on this list is going to be the east side. Now, the east side has a ton to offer, right? Especially since you're going to be closer to the mountains, right? You're going to have that proximity to there, and then several neighborhoods. Two that I really want to highlight are going to be the Foothills and the Sandia Heights, just because they sit closer to the base end of the mountains, and with all the convenience that's around there, you're really going to be maybe 10 to 15 minutes away from anything really that you're looking for, from, restaurants, shopping, entertainment. And with that being said, with all the shopping and all that stuff, you are also going to have some convenience as far as like healthcare goes, with some hospitals around there, some newer urgent cares popping up on that side of town. And since it is a little bit more of a city vibe up there, believe it or not, even if you are sitting close to the base end of the mountains, you are going to have those convenience factors. So let's hop into this list, break each one of these down, and talk about it a little bit. With the first highlighted thing that I want to talk about here on this list, it's going to be that the east side is closer to the mountains. So few neighborhoods that you are going to want to pay attention to, because of course the closer you are to that basin, the more snow, the more rain you're going to get, and being higher in altitude, it is going to be colder. So just keep that in mind, that in the summer maybe a little bit cooler out there, and then now in the wintertime it is definitely going to be freezing, especially when that draft comes from over the mountains. You are going to feel it. So buying some good winter clothes is going to be a must, and then in the summertime you can pretty much just wear anything that you like. But really, guys, right now that the sun is out, there's really no clouds in the sky, and when the sun is outside, it doesn't matter what time of the year that it is going to be a nice day to get outside, enjoy the outdoor activities that you have, since you are closer to the mountains, like biking, hiking, having picnics at the Elena Gallegos open area, open space up there. And then being so close to the big Sandia Mountains, you are going to have an overlook of the city, so that's a big plus. All right, guys, now before I get into this next one, because it's obviously real estate related and neighborhood related, I just want to remind you guys that that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. If at any point in time you guys feel like you have any questions, or something strikes a curiosity as far as what I'm talking about, feel free to just shoot me a text, right? Let's hop on a quick video call as well. That way we can talk about the areas and talk about anything else that you guys have planned as far as that move down to Albuquerque, right? Because it's a big decision, and I want to make sure that you're well equipped with all the information that you're looking for. But other than that, guys, moving to the east side of town, and the two areas that I want to highlight in this video, especially since we're on the topic of mountains, is going to be the Sandia Heights and the Foothills. And both areas are going to be great, right? Both are going to have custom homes. Some of them have, little residential areas that were built by big builders. And really, the two areas are going to be one is going to be closer to the freeway, so that's going to be the convenience. And then the other one is going to be closer to the north, which is going to allow that access or that drive to either Santa Fe or down to the west side a lot easier, because you're going to have Paseo connecting you to the freeway that leads north. But other than that, guys, talking about real estate and average price points, the Sandia Heights, you're looking at about $650K, right? That's a pretty good price point, and it's high up there because you're having all those convenience and all those amenities. And since they are building a lot more custom homes out there, you are going to pay for what you get, or get what you pay for. However you guys say it, it doesn't matter. You guys know exactly what I'm trying to get at. And then also with the foothills, you're going to pay a little bit more because there's more of a convenience factor there, and it being a little bit more closer to the city, you are going to be paying around $730K. So little bit more than the average price point for whole Albuquerque, because all of Albuquerque we're looking around $350K just for the regular single family home. But really, guys, if you are looking to move to this side of town, you are going to be looking at more rural, obviously being tucked away in the mountains. But I mean, who could hate that? Getting away from the city after work, kind of being in your own paradise, it's super awesome. And believe it or not, the road noise out there from time to time is almost non-existent, just because there's really just one main road, and the rest is just neighborhood little drives and all that stuff. So pretty cool. All right, now we've been talking a lot about what there is to do outside. And if you're not a big outdoors person, but you still enjoy being in the mountains, hey, I got some stuff for you. And if you got kiddos and you're wondering how the hell you're going to keep them entertained, I'm going to save you with this one here. The Hinkle Family Fun Center on that side of town is a local favorite, and it's been there for years. It's been there forever. I can remember going there as a kid as well, and they've just done so much with the place. I mean, they got like 3 different arcades, I believe, laser tag, bumper boats, mini golf, place that they call Nickel City. I don't know if it's still Nickel City. I haven't been there in years, but it used to be so cool just going and paying nickels literally to play on any machine that they have there, arcade game, and that spits out tickets and you go and get a prize. It was super fun back in the day. It was cool because you used to pretty much go underground, and then on top they had a different area. But I don't know if it's still the same. I'd be curious to know. That's a super cool thing for you to go and take the family to do. They got the movie theaters up there, and if you are an adult and you want to enjoy some adult activities, all the local restaurants, coffee bars, breweries, and all that stuff is also going to be on that side of town as well for you guys. So never a lack. There's always something to do. You just got to go out there and find it. All right, now I know I've been talking about a lot of the leisure stuff and what to expect when you're all living on that side of town, but really the convenience factor on this side of town is perfect. And I say that as somebody that lives on the west side, because everything is on the east side. I mean, most jobs are on the east side. All the urgent cares, hospitals, right? The 2 main hospitals here in Albuquerque, or 3, Loveless, UNM, and Presbyterian, are on the east side. So us west siders got to drive at least 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes even in traffic, to get to our appointments. And so we're leaving maybe at least half an hour earlier before we got to get to our appointments, just to make sure that we get there on time. But other than that, guys, this side of town is also going to have all the shopping and restaurants. You're talking Uptown, Windrock, and Coronado on this side of town that everybody just kind of takes advantage of. And when the state fair comes into town, you're not going to have to deal with all the traffic on the freeway. Believe it or not, when the state fair comes, there's tons of traffic. And then also with the balloon fiesta, a lot less people are staying on the east side. They're staying more on the west side because there's more availability of residential houses on this side of town, and plus traveling to the balloon fiesta park from this side of town is just a little bit more convenient. But as a local, I'll give you guys a little cheat code. If you do come for the balloon fiesta, the east side of town is just going to have way more navigationable ways to get to the balloon fiesta park. But other than that, guys, east side going to be a great side, whether you want to live closer to the mountains, you want to have the convenience of shopping and, leisure, or you just want to live in an area that's, going to have a more available custom homes that are unique in character to their specific builds. So a lot of great things, but time to get into the west side, guys. So let's get right into it right now. Talking about the west side, probably the best side, to be honest with you guys, in my opinion, because I live on this side of town. But really, when we're talking about the west side, just like the east side, we have a ton to offer, and it's really best of both worlds on this side as well. You're talking about bosque trails, the petroglyphs, and all the intermingled walking trails that they've built on this side of town that pretty much connects all the neighborhoods together. And we are also going to be talking about the Ladera Heights and the Botana Ranch neighborhoods because they've always been a staple on this side of town. And I really want to highlight these areas because they are more than up and coming. They've been here for a while, and just like the east side, the Sandia Heights and the foothills, they're staples on this side of town. And the only downfall that this side of town has is that it gets busy. It's congested because there's a lot more people living on this side of town, but the upside to that is that it's a lot more newer and we're always getting fresh things on this side of town. So let's get right into it. All right, so you're probably wondering what I mean by best of both worlds. And really that means that the residential and the outdoor lifestyle is super heavy on this side of town. So it is a little bit more family orientated. You are going to have walkability to the T here because there's always going to be a way for you to navigate in these neighborhoods because they've done a good job of building walking trails that connect all these neighborhoods. So you either are going to be outside walking the dog, the kiddos, right? Walking the kiddos, tiring them out, taking them to one of the many local parks that are tucked away in these residential areas because pretty much every neighborhood has a park where you can take them to, and it has a jungle gym where they can run around in the grass and do whatever, or you want to run around in the grass or whatever, you're more than welcome to, or play in the playground. Just viewers' discretion is advised when you go on those playgrounds. They're made for kiddos, not for adults. So when we get on there, we might get stuck on the slide. But really, guys, all jokes aside, moving to this side of town, you are going to have like the Bosque trails, which is super nice to get along the river. You enjoy that. Feel like you're detached from the city when you really go there. It's weird. And then to the west, you are going to have the volcanoes, which has trails, and then the petroglyphs, which is a national monument. And believe it or not, all along that black rock is trails tucked in. So you're always going to have an opportunity to get outside. And if you do want to stay inside, well, with all the neighborhood action going on here, getting a single family home is not going to be an issue, and you are going to have time to spend inside. So again, guys, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to shoot me a text. That way we can talk about any questions or curiosities that you may have about the west side. All right, so now with all this goodness coming to this side of town, you are also going to see a lot more things to pop up on this side of town, and it is a lot more newer. I wouldn't call it up and coming because it's been established here for quite some time now, but since we do have more area to grow on this side of town, right? The east side is pretty much stopped by the mountains. This side of town has a lot more areas to grow with, so you are starting to see more new home builders on this side of town. You got like D.R. Horton, Pulte, LGI, and Westway building more homes on this side of town just because the availability is there. On this side of town, along St. Joseph's and Coors, we are getting a brand new Target. And we're hoping that it's going to be 3 stories, this massive thing, because everybody on this side of town is Target shoppers. And the last time we've seen a new Target was on the east side, and the west side Target, God bless its heart, and needs some help because it's tiny, it's old, and it's been there forever. But aside from all the shopping and all the things that's coming to this side of town, we are getting newer restaurants. More local people are starting to open and build their own buildings here. So it's freaking awesome to see how involved the community is with the growth on the west side. So if you want to live on a part of town where there's still plenty of growth and areas to kind of just take over as far as coming to buy land, because believe it or not, the west side still has some land to offer for you guys, and people are buying it up, especially like they recently built the petroglyphs neighborhoods that overlooks the city. A lot of custom homes there, $1 million homes there. So these average prices, because the petroglyphs neighborhood is tucked right between these 2 different areas that we're talking about, you are going to be able to see those custom homes on this side of town as well. So don't feel like you're totally out of the race if you are looking for something unique when you are moving to Albuquerque. Now, I can give you all this positive stuff without giving you some negatives, right? And I want to make sure that you have all the correct information before you move to either side of town to help you make the best decision for you and yours. Now, when you move to the west side, you are going to be dealing with a lot more traffic. That's my number one problem, is traffic. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And that's why I could not live in bigger cities like California, New York, or somewhere in Texas, because there's so much people there. But anyhow, guys, when you're moving to the west side, you are going to be dealing with a little bit more traffic. It's not going to be anything crazy like those bigger cities, but account to if you are trying to get to the east side to add at least 30 to 45 minutes to your drive, because you might run into a wreck. You might run into somebody stopped along the road that these maps aren't picking up or accounting for, and that will put you behind. And there's really not a whole lot of way to navigate from the freeway through back roads. I mean, there is, but if you are not a local and you don't know, then you're gonna get lost. I guarantee you, it happens all the time. I still even get lost from time to time, and I have to hop on a map to make sure that I can get back to a main road, because once I'm back to a main road, I'm pretty good at getting back to where I need to be. If you are moving more northwest, keep in mind that there's fewer ways to travel to the east side. You only really have like Paseo and Montano, and then you have Coors and Unser to get you from north and south. So it is going to be a little bit busier. Some streets through Coors and Unser have more lights than you would expect. So again, add another 20 to 30 minutes to your drive if you are navigating through there. And then the convenience factor, because there is traffic, sometimes you have to plan accordingly. If you are going to one side of town versus the other, you want to make sure that you get everything done on that side of town. So for instance, if we go to the east side like we are today to go get boba, we're going to make sure that we hit everything that we need to on that side of town, because we don't want to go over there again. Unless we have to go, necessarily need to go, we'll find a place over here on the west side. For instance, like if a Hobby Lobby, if we need to get to one that specifically, we'll go to the west side location or the south side location, because sometimes crossing that river and going through traffic is such a bummer and nobody likes it. But other than that, guys, it was super fun doing this list with you guys. I appreciate you hanging tight with me and going through it, right? Because I want to make sure, like I said, that you guys are making the best decision. And when it comes to making the best decision, guys, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And as much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So feel free to hit me up. That way we can hop on a quick call with me and my team to make sure that you're making all the right moves when moving down to Albuquerque. But aside from that, guys, I'm going to go get some boba, hit some trails in the Raptor, and I'm going to go have some fun and enjoy the rest of my weekend. And you guys have a good weekend. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.